Welcome to the Learn Tech Today English YouTube channel. Have you ever wondered what happens when we let fear entirely control our future? If we listen just a little too much to the people screaming about the dangers of artificial intelligence, what do we actually lose? Well, let's find out. Today, we are going to deeply understand the specific risks created by the Doomers and Gloomers. These are the two main groups who are highly skeptical and fearful of our AI future. We're going to break down exactly what happens when we hit the brakes on this technology. And we'll make this super easy and interesting to grasp. So let's dive right in. Here's a quick roadmap for our masterclass today. We'll cover the AI fear trap, Doomers versus Gloomers, blocking the private commons, real-life AI risks, some essential exam notes, and finally, the smart risk. Starting off with Section 1, the AI fear trap. Our insights today come directly from a really fascinating book called Super Agency by Reid Hoffman and Greg Beato. Now, this text essentially looks at the history of technological fear, pointing out that if a technology can be created, humans are definitely going to create it. So how do we steer it safely without falling into a trap? To answer that, we have to understand a concept called Problemism. Imagine for a second that you are very, very sick, and there is a magical new medicine that can absolutely cure you. But two groups of people are standing there physically blocking the hospital door. One group is shouting, "Don't take it. It might turn you into an alien in 100 years. The other group says, "No, don't take it. We haven't spent 10 years getting the right government stamps for it yet." Meanwhile, you are just suffering. Well, in the world of AI, these negative thinkers act exactly like those door blockers. Their mindset is called Problemism. It's a way of thinking that focuses so heavily on what could go wrong that it completely ignores what could go right, which ends up delaying the cure for society's biggest ailments. Moving on to Section 2, Doomers versus Gloomers. So let's look at these two camps side by side so you can really see the difference. On the left, we have the Doomers. Their whole philosophy is entirely focused on a sci-fi apocalypse. The idea where superintelligent, autonomous AI suddenly decides to wipe out humanity. Then on the right, we have the Gloomers. Now, they aren't worried about some distant apocalypse. Instead, they're laser focused on near-term regulations. They're the ones demanding strict, top-down government bans, massive rules, and heavy licensing regimes. Let's break down the specific risks here. Starting with step 1, the Doomer distraction. By obsessing over these imaginary future killer robots, Doomers actively distract society from solving actual current problems. By crying out to hit the pause button on AI development, they literally prevent us from creating the powerful tools we desperately need right now to fight real-world existential threats. Things like climate change, future pandemics, and resource depletion. Now for step 2, which is the Gloomer trap. Gloomers accidentally defend what the authors call the existential threat of the status quo. See, by blocking innovation with incredibly heavy top-down regulations in the name of safety, they actually end up protecting entrenched interests. They prevent life-saving progress and unintentionally enforce the current massive inequities of our everyday system. Let's move to Section 3, blocking the private commons. So, what is the private commons? We define it as those incredible shared digital resources. Think of your free digital maps, online coding tutorials, and highly accessible AI assistants. These are tools that democratize knowledge and basically give everyday people superpower agency. But Gloomers? They often view tech companies strictly as bad extraction operations that are just out to steal our data. By trying to shut this ecosystem down and regulate it away, they risk completely destroying the very tools that give ordinary individuals the power to learn and thrive. Section 4, real-life AI risks. Let's make this crystal clear. Let's look at how the Doomer risk plays out in reality. If we halt AI research right now out of fear, what exactly do we lose? Well, for one, we fail to develop AI that can translate endangered animal vocalizations, which means we lose a massive opportunity to save global biodiversity. Or we fail to optimize complex food supply chains, which could quite literally stop starvation in food-insecure regions across the globe. When we pause out of fear, we actively choose not to solve these huge problems. To put the Gloomer risk into perspective, look at this number, 129 million. That is the number of Americans currently living in areas with a severe shortage of mental health professionals. This right here is the true existential threat of the status quo. Hundreds of millions of people globally are going completely untreated simply because the current system is broken and overwhelmingly expensive. A perfect example of this is the Coco app. This was a platform that briefly added an AI tool to test out free mental health peer support. And the Gloomers were absolutely furious. They demanded lawsuits and massive sanctions based entirely on hypothetical harms. But they completely missed the big picture, didn't they? The real risk is keeping the current expensive system while blocking the very AI that could provide 24/7 empathetic and affordable therapists to people who simply cannot afford a human one. All right, Section 5, Essential Exam Notes. If you're a student or a test taker, pay attention here. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this slide. First up, Problemism. This is the default mode of viewing technology as highly suspect, which ignores the potential positive outcomes and harms society by delaying real solutions. Second, the doomer risk. This is the massive distraction from near-term harms, delaying the AI tools we need to fight real global threats. And third, the gloomer risk, enforcing strict precautions that actually maintain the current societal inequities and block accessible AI tools from reaching the underserved. Let's do a really quick, smart memory trick to lock these concepts in. Samachaya bosto? D is for doomers, which equals distraction from real problems. G is for gloomers, which equals gatekeeping, as in blocking the poor and underserved from cheap, abundant AI help. Remember D and G, and you've got the absolute core of this entire lesson perfectly memorized. Finally, let's wrap up with Section 6, the smart risk. To sum it all up, doomers risk our future by trying to pause the very tools that could actually save us from global disasters. Gloomers, on the other hand, risk our present by acting as champions of complacency, demanding strict regulations that keep life-changing, affordable AI out of the hands of the people who need it most. Remember, my dear students, every single great leap in human history required taking a smart risk. Don't let the fear of what could go wrong stop you from building what could go right. We have to boldly steer toward a better future, not just hide from a bad one. So, are we brave enough to take that leap? Keep upgrading your skills, stay positive, and become absolutely unstoppable. If you found this explainer helpful today, please like, share, and subscribe to Learn Tech Today English. And don't forget to smash that bell icon so you get our latest educational learning explainers first. See you in the next one.